I don't care how sincere you seem to be when you say, trust me, bro, I didn't steal the $10 this time. Once a thief, always a thief. Once a liar, always a liar. Go f yourself.
Ask your question, and I'll give you a couple minutes.
Because I came here to really just ask these two. The first one is the more important one, which is like, I understand what you're doing, Rob, where you're like, I don't want to engage with people who have this like faux pas, like, you know, hypocriticalness that allows them to not call out their own side, but then only ever like give into their side. Because I have seen people who are like, yeah, I'm only ever good faith when it benefits me. And I understand that being frustrating, but like, don't you think it would be more beneficial to, especially for these people who may not know let me be clear, like when you talk about like the FBI stuff, like I don't know any shit about that. Maybe truly, if you were to explain that to me, I would actually be like, hey, oh, you know what, that is corrupt. And I do agree with you, Rob. But by refusing to engage with people who didn't call it out in the past, you're preventing yourself from building those bridges and potentially even convincing them that that stuff is bad. I think you absolutely could. I mean, you clearly know a shit ton about it. You bring it up in like every single debate.
Then how don't you know?
Well, how do I know what? Oh, because I don't watch the debates. I just know that you bring it up in every debate.
How do you know that?
Like, because Pisco and Econoboy tell me. Like,
oh, because you've heard people that just, right. You're starting to see a little problem there. You haven't seen first source information yourself. You're relying on.
No, and I haven't. And I'm not. And again, I'm not here to specifically talk about it. I'm just like the whole tactic, because this is like the whole thing, like the first interaction we had, where I was like, oh, this is silly, right? Like if I hadn't called this person out, like how can we talk about it now? But like I understand what you're doing, but I think that you can absolutely like have more convincing arguments if you just say like, look, I think you're being hypocritical here. I'm going to make my point about this. After I've laid this out for you, can you then show me that you like why you disagree, why you do agree with me, or like have I changed your mind? Like I don't know. I just think it would
so
be
two things. You're the dude that
that
faked the Photoshop. That was you fucking loser. So Soypill, right? Like when we were going through this arc, Soypill and company were real mad that Trump put a tweet out where he quoted Napoleon and was like, if you're saving the country, you commit no crime, something to that effect, right? And I had all these leftists clutching their pearls like, Rob, I demand you answer for this. And I'm like, dude, if you just lived through the lawlessness of the Biden administration, I could talk 6 ways from Sunday of it, and you didn't say anything about that. I don't want to hear you clutch your pearls now and demand that I answer for a mean tweet that Trump made. It's bullshit, right? Soypill here, then, after I already agreed to talk to him, and I was going to have a conversation much like I'm having tonight with this panel, he instead photoshopped a tweet, which I took in good faith, showing actually I did call out Biden. And so what was my response? Right, real quick. First
you asked me to say it, and I did tell you I don't have these tweets. You know, like I didn't say this in the past. And he said, then I refused to engage. And I was like, well, that's silly. And that is when I F12'd and edited.
What happened when you
you would engage? Well, then you did engage. Which
I did engage, didn't I?
But the problem is, Rob, like that thing, like the thing that I had to fake, it didn't exist, right? I hadn't called that out in the past.
Right.
Whether or not that was because I was engaging at that moment as a content creator, or because I didn't even see that story, or didn't care about it, or I disagreed with your take on it, I still think that you can have that conversation. It's very important to have that conversation.
Well,
and
you can
like stop it at the moment, like right, like.
I think that two things, right? One, the first thing is, right, like your argument of what would be better for me for pragmatically for my side is just that your opinion. I disagree. Sometimes I engage with people, sometimes I don't. It's my personal preference on when I enjoy to do so. So that's number one. Second, I don't take in good faith that you're legitimately trying to help me help people understand it. I don't think that that's what you're doing. I think that
it makes for a more interesting conversation. You're right. I'm not trying to help your side, to be clear. Like,
so let me finish real quick. I think that the utility is that you understand by allowing the focus and the control of the narrative to be on people that were bad faith and didn't give a shit about the issues you're talking. Let's make it real simple, like the kids in cages. That you would say, oh, just because these people cried about kids in cages under Trump and then they ignored or defended it when it was under Biden and it was 2 times as worse, but now that Trump's back in office, they want to talk about kids in cages. Strategically, you should talk about kids in cages again and explain. No, bullshit. That's their form of controlling the narrative, particularly on these spaces. I'm tired of giving in to lefties that have all of these. Let me
call them out for that.
That have all of these institutional advantages on platforms like YouTube, where they're not getting demonetized, they're not getting algorithm manipulation against them, they're not getting censored for talking about certain topics, right? And so given that, I will choose to talk about who I want, and I will talk to the people that are more malleable, including audience members of people like you, Soypill, and I'll explain in good faith why these issues are corrupt that I'm talking about, but I owe you nothing. And your opinion that I owe you something is not, it means nothing to me. And I think that there is more utility in not allowing people like you to sidetrack and control the narrative by assuming that you're arguing in good faith when clearly you've shown an example that you're not. That's what I think.
Well, I understand that, but I think you're really limiting yourself from the conversations that might actually.
Thanks for your concern, Mr. Photoshopping a tweet to talk to me.
I keep telling you it's not Photoshop, dude. It's F12. But last thing, Sarah, and then I'll just head off the bench. You don't even have to kick me in the background. I heard you say, because I wasn't listening until the very last time before you jumped on, why aren't they reading transgender story hour, drag queen story hour to people in old folks' homes? Like,
Correct.
you know, people in old folks' homes can read, right? Like the idea is like
They also do.
Like to read to kids is like it's a reading time.
Guess what I did?
They might play music for old people, and they actually do. They do like burlesque and drag shows.
Were you ever in the
like
Boy
old people's
Scouts?
homes. But was I in the Boy Scouts? No.
When I was in the Boy Scouts,
guess
what we did? We went to nursing homes and read.
Okay.
So the idea that this doesn't have, because a lot of people, have you ever been into a nursing home?
Yeah, I did volunteer work in a nursing home. We played music.
Will you acknowledge that there's a lot
of
of people? There's a lot of people that, like, whether it be through poor eyesight, dementia, other things, don't really have the ability to read.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's fair. Okay.
Right. And so, like, the idea, like, nursing homes are desperate for people to come in and offer any form of entertainment. You're right. Yeah. I also played French horn. I went in and played French horn for elderly people. I saw people. Hey,
French horn is bass.
I should be kicked off
the panel. Rob and I will agree on.
I hear you. French horn's like the heaviest instrument because it's so coiled up. So, you know. Fuck. Soypill's probably working out lifting French horns. You know, that's how he's bulking up here. But yeah, there's all sorts of reasons. It's just a throwaway point that I'm making, but it is that there's not a big interest in other things. Like drag queens aren't going to nursing homes and playing music either. Why? Are they all untalented? They don't know how to play a French horn?
They actually do like a lot of drag and burlesque stuff at like old folks' homes or like in community centers. Like that is a big thing. That's what the thing is. Like it does seem. This is where I'll leave off because like we could talk about this for hours. But like I think I've heard you say a lot of stuff, Rob. Where I'm like you're like the target audience for why I made my YouTube channel. I'm like your understanding of this is I think clouded by like a right wing narrative that I think if I had enough time we could just talk through it and be like, oh, like I think my take's reasonable enough that you would understand it. And
but I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
You don't. I know.
You Photoshop shit to lie to get involved in conversation, so I don't give a fuck what you think.
Well, first of all, Rob, that was just the Twitter conversation. It had nothing to do with our debate, to be clear. But second of all, it's not Photoshop. I keep telling you, it's F12.
I don't give a shit what mechanism. Oh, what do you mean, bleach bit? Like wiped it with a cloth?
And I didn't have to tell you. And I told you because you said I was good faith, and I actually felt bad about it. So that's
right, because I wanted to engage with people that were good faith, and then you admitted actually I'm bad faith.
Well, no, I was like, let's clear the air and let's set the record straight and let's start from scratch, right? That's what I tried to do.
Here's some advice. Thank you for your advice on who I should talk to. Let me give some to you. If you're actually interested in starting a YouTube channel so you can have good faith conversations with me, who's the target audience, then maybe the first interaction we have shouldn't be you F12ing and faking an image to enter the conversation in false pretenses. So why don't you reflect on that a little before you offer advice to other people on what their conversation should be like?
I tried, Rob. Let it be known. I tried. Okay.
You were in that debate with me regardless, were you not?
Well, until you left.
Well, yeah, because I'm not. Dude, you're so fucking stupid. You come in and you're like, basically, I chumped you out. Ha ha. At the beginning of the debate, what'd you expect me to do?
You started off saying, I'm here with this stupid motherfucker who doesn't know anything. I was like, okay, well, let's clear the air. Because I actually did want to have a conversation about something completely different.
Okay, do we need a debate?
No,
like
what
not tonight. Not
Sir,
tonight.
I'm genuinely interested in like
night.
talking about some of the things that Rob does have grievances in a way that I think that he would understand. Like I'm actually, I'm trying to be nice. Rob, I'll take you to the gym. I'll buy you a beer, and we'll talk about some Democrat stuff. Okay, like I'm actually trying to like reach out and build a bridge here because.
Thank you for that bridge. I think that. I definitely need to work. I can get my back fixed, but I do appreciate that offer. But what I'll say to you is, no, thinking about it, I refuse to engage with you in a one-on-one setting because I think you're a sack of shit that manufactured a tweet in order to get me to enter a debate in false pretenses, and then
it had nothing to do with the debate.
Let me finish, and then you announced it at the beginning of the debate in order to sort of chump me out. So go fuck yourself.
That's man, I wish that was what happened.
I wish that you wouldn't have been a bad faith sack of shit, but you were.
I mean, between the two of you guys, I'm probably more on your side, Rob. But I love Soypill.
He seems decent.
He's always been reasonable. I would totally debate him in a half a second, right? Because he always
don't push Rob out of the way. All right, Rob, don't let him shove you out of the way.
Rob.
Try to steal his spot.
I will stand side by side with Rob on any debate, right?
Thanks.
But I'm just saying to Rob, I actually think that Soypill is also a good faith debater.
All right, let me ask you this real quick, Vibe. Let's say you're doing some sort of...
Before you do, just mild housekeeping, because it's driving me fucking nuts too. Who the fuck is typing?
It's me, and I'll leave when I answer my questions from 15 minutes ago.
You can hang out backstage.
Building bridges, JC.
While everybody else is trying to actually have a fucking conversation. Just word to the wise, panel rules 101. If you're going to sit on panel, and I understand, yeah, there's other people talking. We have to wait. We want to talk in chat and so on and so forth. Fucking mute your mic. It ain't that hard. Thank you, Jeff.
I'm about to get kicked. Do you mind if I say one thing before I
Can
get
I
kicked
just
again?
real quick say this to Vibe? Like, just to answer this, let's say that you were like, hey, I want someone who used to be a firefighter because I have a disagreement that I'd like to talk about them on my channel. And I said, yeah, I used to be a firefighter. And then I come on your show and you're like, thanks so much. It's really nice to have someone that was a firefighter here. And I go, actually, you fucking idiot. I manufactured that evidence. I was a firefighter. Still interested in talking to me?
Wait, Rob, can I explain exactly what happened from my perspective?
I don't. You can
tell me
try.
what-
I don't give a shit.
Maybe you don't give a shit, but just for the record, okay? This is what happened.
And I want to answer it, okay?
Well, hold on, wait, vibe, because this is irrelevant, right? Because like, I mean, it's not irrelevant. That's similar to what happened, but not really what happened. But Rob, let me clear the air here. Like, this is what happened. Wick said, "Do you want to go on this panel?" I didn't even know you were on it, by the way. I agreed to that panel. You agreed to that panel separately. Now, this tweet was completely adjacent to this. I tweeted. I saw you reply. I forgot it was a Lactoid or someone replying about, "Hey, I think that, this thing is not so bad, but I'm not going to criticize that because of your ideology of like, hey, I want to call out people who actually have been calling out their side when they're bad. Otherwise, I'm wasting my fucking breath. Understand that, right?" And so I said, hey, like, don't you think it's bad, like in general? And we didn't have a history, right? We don't know each other. And your immediate reply to that is, well, unless I know that you called out Joe Biden when he was corrupt, then I won't engage. And I saw that as bad faith. I was like, this is weird to me because I thought we could just talk
Then
about it.
why
Like,
would you want to
me,
talk
I
to
don't
me
know
if
you.
you thought I was being bad faith from the outset?
No, well, first of all, I engage with any bad faith actor because I'm like interested, at the very least, interested in like hearing what they have to say. But I was like, okay, well, that's a weird tactic. Like, and I explained this in the reply. I was like, look, I don't have that. Like, I can't show you this because I didn't say it. Like, but isn't there still a conversation to be had? And you said no. So you doubled down, said no, I don't want to do that. And so I was like, well, what if I, fabricate some silly evidence? Let's see. Like, well, then he talked to me, and you did, and I appreciated that because you were true to your word. You did. You said, look, thank you for showing me. And then you gave your opinion, which is what I wanted. And I was like, that's great. And then in the debate, you were like, you're the only reason I'm here to have this good faith conversation. And
that's not quite what I said.
Well, something about that, right?
I said that my strategy in this debate was going to be similar to what it was tonight. To say that, and let me give my version of what happened then, right? Sure. What happened for me was I have all these people that I'm debating regularly on the left. When I told out and was like, look, here's, Joe Biden, Merrick Garland's sending the FBI to collaborate to go after angry parents at school board meetings. This is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And these people say, no, it's not a big deal. But then as soon as Trump says words, not actions he's taking, that's not what people are criticizing, words. He said this tweet. He said, oh my God. Now, I personally wasn't a big fan of the tweet. And when I talked to Lactoid and I talked to Ryan Mullally, who's a lawyer who's more centrist, I had whole conversations with them. It's like, actually, I'm not a big fan of this tweet. Let me explain why. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying, but here's my legitimate criticism of Trump saying this, right? But what was happening was I had all these people that I interacted with in the past that I knew had no problem with lawfare that was being directed against Donald Trump. They did not give a shit, even if it was illegal, like illegal FISA warrants and spying on Trump. So I don't owe those people shit. When those people start adding me and they're like, oh, what do you think about this tweet? My answer is, fuck you. I don't care. I'm not going to talk about Trump's words and tweets when you defended or were silent about the actual actions that his opponent took that were far graver than just these words, right? Now, in the context of that, you jump into the conversation by your own admission. You're saying that you saw that there was some sort of interaction. So you knew what I was saying about this. You're like, oh, well, what about me? Well, you answer to me. I say, did you jumped in the middle of a conversation where I was making a point. I'm tired of these people that are bad faith because they were okay when Biden did this shit, demanding that someone like me answer for just a tweet. So I asked you the same question that I was asking all these other people I knew. And you were like, well, maybe first you said no or you didn't answer. And I was like, then I'm not interested in talking. Then you fabricated a tweet. And I was like, I was in the room with my wife. I was like, fucking hey, someone answered. Like, yes, I could have a good conversation about that. This is great. So I was excited. My plan going into the debate, I didn't know you were in that debate with Wick, but my plan going into it was I was going to approach it like this. Like, fuck you guys. I have an opinion on this tweet. But if you guys were okay with what Joe Biden did, I'm not going to sit here and all of a sudden have to answer questions about what about Trump's mean words? Trump's mean words suggest he may do what our actions did to him. Fuck you. No, I don't care. That's how I was going to approach. But I was excited and changed my strategy because I knew at least one one of my opponents was good faith. Then you announced, haha, I made that up, which was, if you would have waited till the end, I'd have been like, okay, I guess you got me. But you said it early in the debate, which meant that I'm a chump if I don't at that point be like, then fuck you, I'm not engaging with you. You entered this conversation in bad faith. You entered it in bad faith, so I didn't give a fuck. And every interaction I have from here on out with you will have that in my mind, that you lied and you tried to chump me out, and so go fuck yourself.
Right. So
that's it, simple.
This wasn't, this wasn't me trying to chump you out or lure you into debate. It was literally,
I don't believe you.
Okay, sure. I'm just telling you what my truth is. You don't believe me, that's fine. But my understanding was, I thought it was interesting because I did want to know your opinion. I was like, okay, Rob seems like someone who at least can engage with the fact, like, hey, I will criticize Trump when he does something bad. I was like, well, like, don't you understand that, you know, this Trump tweet is kind of indicative, like a weird, like, you know, I'm above the law sort of thing. Like, what do you think about that, Rob? And I felt like, well, if I can't show you a thing I never said, then like, it's weird that you wouldn't talk to me about it. I
don't give a shit.
No, that's fine.
Finish
that's
up,
fine.
and then I'll
I'm
tell
not
you.
criticizing you. The point is, like, I would understand if you like look at like a Peace Corps or these other people you talk to, and like, look, but it's so, I would think it would be so simple for like, yeah, I'm not going to engage, and you know, I don't want to like you know, give you the time of day if you're going to be like such a hypocrite about this. But if you do publicly state it to people in these spaces, what's the difference between saying, here's my opinion on it, also go fuck yourself because you're a hypocrite, and
because
just
I
not
owe
talk to
you
them at all?
nothing. Because I owe you nothing, and I'm tired of engaging in good faith to people that are clearly bad faith. And particularly when it comes to mean tweets, I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's an important topic anyways, and I'm not going to owe anyone these answers. And listen, you want to give me advice? My advice to you is, if you want to have honest conversations with people, don't enter into them with farcical lies and then say them early enough into the debate where you force their hand. And I just want to say, I don't believe a fucking word you say. If you steal $10 from me, and then you're like, I find out you stole it, and then you're in my house next week and $10 comes up missing, I don't care how sincere you seem to be when you say, trust me, bro, I didn't steal the $10 this time. Once a thief, always a thief. Once a liar, always a liar. Go fuck yourself.
Can you understand though, like, why I
No,
said
fuck
it
yourself. I don't give a shit to even attempt to understand you. Fuck you.
Damn? But like,
I'm not even attempting to understand you.
I do. All right.
Done
it seems like
talking
you're
to
just
you.
kind of like shutting down.
Done.
All right, but we're still here. But I guess
You're
not.
there,
Aw.
but I'm done talking to you.
All right, Rob. I tried. I tried.
Joy.
Well, Rob, good luck. And
Thank you. I appreciate
the
that.
offer still stands, but let's say that Marte absolutely is much larger than me, so you can absolutely take the advice from him. You'll get much bigger. But
Good, good.
Careful
He
of
seems-
the stack. All right, it does things. To
And
your
he never
heart, okay?
manufactured
I'm
a tweet
natty.
to lie to me. So how about that?
That's true. He didn't ever manufacture a tweet to lie to you, but he might die when he's like 35. So you know, be careful.
See it.
But thank you, Sarah, for having me. I appreciate the invite.
And Rob, I might ask.
that
I
was
might
the-
ask you. What,
Oh, yeah,
sorry, just
not
for
for
a
me.
second.
Okay, no, I'm out. I've been booted. That $5.
Well, no, I'd like you
is
to say for a second.
Well, I don't know the rules.
Wouldn't
Sarah.
you? Yeah. Okay. You can get.
Am I allowed to say? I feel bad for your chatter. They kicked me off.
It was a 5-minute boot. It's not.
I'll go for the rest of the panel. Vibe, ask your last thing.
I just wanted to put one statement out there to Rob, is you have your audience,
Mhm.
and they trust you. We were talking about media before, and who do you trust, right?
Mhm.
Don't you want to talk to Soypill's audience?
No.
The
Don't you
audience
want
like
to-
you more than you might
No.
think, Rob. They do.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
glad they
it's
can
just
come over to
like
my
that-
channel.
that's-
I don't want to watch to someone that tried to chump me out and lied as a pretext for having a type of conversation with me.
Well, let me say this: like, I would
And I
never
personally think that's
blacklist
a really
you for
good
using
reason to
AI during a
hate his
debate. I wouldn't
audience.
blacklist you for like, you know, engaging in something where you like frame something in a dishonest way, because I still want to hear what you have to say, and I think you
Good.
should extend that out. I really
You should
do.
want to hear
But-
what I have to say. I don't give a shit what your opinion is on why I should talk to you after you lied and then, haha, yuck, yuck, announced it at the beginning of a debate where you got me to have a strategy to
I
be
did that
excited
'cause I
to
thought I
talk
was
to you
being
because I
nice,
thought
to be
you were
clear.
good faith, and then you bragged about being bad faith. Go fuck yourself.
That's why I told you, because I felt bad that was the reason.
I
you
don't give a
engaged
shit
with
what
it.
your
I really did
explanation
feel
is.
bad
Why
about
would
it,
I
so.
believe you when you entered the conversation with
It
a
doesn't
lie?
matter. I'm just letting you know what I think, and you cannot
You
believe me,
kid,
but that's
right,
true.
and I don't believe you. I have no reason to ever believe anything you say because our first interaction was you entering in, fabricating a tweet to lie to me.
Okay, Rob. But yeah.
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate
Good
it.
seeing
Have a
you,
good one,
Soy.
guys.
Evan Lord sends a big 5. Soy proved he had the low integrity, and that can alienate honorable people like Rob. Lying to someone and publicly mocking them is very dishonorable. Rob, you're welcome to chime in a little
Yeah,
bit
I mean
more.
that's all. Soy seems like a likable enough guy, and someday I'll probably. Again, I didn't even remember that was the dude. I talked to him the other day on your show after he did a panel with Rachel Wilson. I didn't remember it, but that sort of thing pisses me off, especially because I was so excited to talk to someone. That was like that Spicoli guy. I know people were probably like, "Wow, he's droning on." I actually like that. I like someone that's like, hey, I got some fucking criticisms of Trump, but guess what? I offer those criticisms to anyone regardless of party. I like talking to people like that. So I was so excited to talk to him over that. I was like, wow, this is going to be a good discussion. I can't wait to do it. And then him for right off the gate to be like, oh, I faked that fucking tweet, ha ha. And then expect me to what? Sit there like a bitch? I don't need Soy. I don't need him. Like, I don't need his audience. I wish them all well. I hope they do come watch me, but I don't need that shit. I'm not going to be bitched out in that sort of way. Kiss my ass. And the fact that the moderator Wick wanted to make a big man moment out of it, he can kiss my ass too. But I do wish them both well. I have no personal animosity towards them, hoping that they get banned or that they have unsuccessful lives. So he looks like a happy guy. He seems decent. I wish him nothing but the happiness. But until I choose on a whim to want to talk to him one-on-one again, he can go fuck himself. That's how I feel about it.
I think that's fair.
I still want to throw it in there. Sorry, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Buck.
If you don't mind, I mean, I still think that Soy is. He might have been catfishing you on that to engage with you, but honestly, like when I look at people like Soypill, I want to engage with his audience, right? I can engage my audience, and they're gonna love everything I say. I want to engage with the people that do not love what I say.
Vibe. Listen.
And that's why when I originally spoke up, I'm like, hey, give this guy a chance. I've been on panels with him before. He's been pretty good faith. I'm not as big as you are, right? So like,
I'm trying to lose weight.
Response out of you. What?
I said I'm trying to lose weight, you know. But
yeah.
no,
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying. You want to talk to that audience, not your audience.
I don't give it. I'll talk to that audience. I don't want to talk to Soy. Let me say this, Vibe. Let me put it in a way that maybe you'll understand. When you go on Tinder and you get the big-breasted blonde that you're going out to dinner with, and it turns out that it's a 60-year-old fat old man, right? You might really want to talk to that fat old man's friends, but I don't. Fuck them. They catfished me. Hit the bricks.
That's fair. And Harvard
okay. So
comes with another 5 to say, I didn't even know about this prior. So I tricked Rob in bad faith. Apologized for assuming he was a good faith actor. Do you think that that's like something that you would say as a full-on character? I mean, would you hold it? I mean, obviously you're holding it against him all the way, but would you believe that that's something he would do all the time?
Yeah, I have no reason to trust him, just like I wouldn't have reason to trust someone who steals from me to let them back in my house. Now, I'll be honest with you, eventually, and probably not that long from now, I'll be like, shit, yeah, I'll talk to Soy again. But it'll be at my whim, and I'm never going to believe when he says, well, my motivations are X, Y, and Z. I don't believe you. I just don't. So I'll choose to talk to him when I feel like it, but I don't need him. I hope his audience can appreciate that I'm not wishing ill on him or not wishing ill on them. I would be happy for them to hear the things I have to say, but there are plenty of other left-wing streamers just as interesting who haven't engaged in bad faith in that level, and I'll talk to them instead. Eventually I'll let it go, but I choose not to now.
I didn't even see what Soy did. I didn't know what he was doing that was dirty to.
I will sum it up in 30 seconds. Trump had a tweet where he quoted Napoleon and said, if you're saving the country, then you can't break the law. A bunch of lefties that I've interacted with over and over again on X was like, see, Trump, what do you think about this, Rob? What do you think about this? I said, screw you people. You didn't care when Biden operated above the law, so I'm not going to listen to you complain about Trump's mean tweets. If someone could show me that they were actually talking about potential law breaking under Biden, then I'll talk to them about my honest opinion about Trump's mean tweet here. No one was able to do that. They just kept screaming, what aboutism? Soy came in and basically was like, yeah, here, I did criticize. I said, that sounds awesome. Can't wait to talk to you. He said, I'm on the panel with you tomorrow. Let's talk about it then. I went on the panel, said, thank you so much, Soy. Really appreciate that you're the kind of person that's a Democrat, but you did call out your side. He said, haha, I didn't. I F12'd and made that fake tweet. Haha, how about that? I said, go fuck yourself. I don't want to talk to you. And I'm sorry for swearing so much, Sarah. I'm going to cut it back. I'm sorry.
Stop fucking cussing, Rob.
That's it. That's the best I can explain it without relitigating the whole thing all night. So
yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, you know, especially if if you're coming to engage in good faith and then somebody kind of blindsides you like that. I think that's fair.